Welcome back to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I am your host, April. Inspire, host, create, explore endless new possibilities, next level broadcasting. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. We're going to be looking at content from ChristianCourier.com. Sleep, an Evidence of Divine Design by Wayne Jackson. Genesis 2:21. Jehovah God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept. Science baffled. Actually, science is puzzled about this phenomenon called sleep. One writer has described sleep as a nightly miracle that baffles science. Others comment, on average, human beings spend a third of their lives in sleep. Yet scientists do not yet know precisely what sleep accomplishes. It is presumed to serve some restorative function, but just how sleep refreshes us is certainly unclear. Scientists are still seeking answers to many questions about man's need for sleep. They do not know, for example, why man cannot simply rest as insects do, nor have they discovered exactly how sleep restores vigor to the body. Divine Design. In 1993, I wrote a book titled The Human Body, Accident or Design. In this volume, I argued the case that the human anatomy is so characterized by design that it cannot possibly have evolved through a series of accidental circumstances. We are not a library of freak occurrences. Rather, as David, king of Israel, humbly declared, we have been fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalms 139, verse 14. We do not believe there is a naturalistic explanation which accounts for the origin of sleep. On the contrary, we affirm that sleep is a mechanism designed by God to facilitate the well-being of certain forms of biological organisms, specifically mankind. The benefits of sleep. Some still contend that sleep is non-essential for the welfare of humans. One writer recently argued that sleep serves no important function in modern man, and that in principle at least, man is capable of living happily without it. The assertion is ludicrous. Where it is not for this rest provision, we could not survive very long. Strange things happen when a person is deprived of sleep. After a day or two, your mood changes, depression become apparent. As days go by, experimental subjects in most cases begin to hallucinate and are even prone to violence. The record for staying awake is 264 hours. Though sleep appears to have been primarily designed for the health of the brain, as we shall subsequently observe, there are numerous physical side effects as well. Consider the following from Miller and Good. What happens in the body when we go to sleep, we know in some kind of detail. There is a general slowing down of all the body's rhythms and processes. Heartbeat and respiration retard to a leisurely pace. Blood pressure and temperature fall to an even lower level, and the level of adrenaline in the blood and the volume of urine also fall. Another writer notes sleep restores energy to the body, particularly to the brain and nervous system. Sleep also assists healing. A former director of the Health Education Council states this: sleep is more than a time of rest and relaxation. It is also time of recuperation and repair, of growth and regrowth. During normal course of living, cells of the body wear out and must be replaced. This regeneration takes place more rapidly during sleep. It has been shown, for example, that the cells of the skin divide and make new cells about twice as fast during sleep. It is believed, however, that sleep performs its most powerful magic on the brain. This appears to be suggested by the fact that those who are deprived of sleep over several days experience minimal physical damage as compared to the mental turmoil that afflicts them. John Pfeiffer cites a study done on several hundred soldiers who stayed awake for more than 4 days. Medical examinations afterward revealed no significant physical debilitation. Sleeplessness has its most important effect on one organ, the brain. Some experimental evidence appears to suggest that sleep seems to activate the immune system. Scientific studies have indicated that long-term sleep deprivation could precipitate fatal blood infections in laboratory animals. The brain is a paradox. It needs sleep, but it does not need sleep. The fact that the brain is quite active during sleep is demonstrated in a couple of days. First, it is the computer that orchestrates all of the body's symptoms, keeping them running on automatic even when we're not consciously thinking about these functions. Second, dreaming reveals that the brain is still active during sleep. In fact, some folks have been quite creative during their sleep time. Longfellow dreamed his poem, The Wreck. Sir Isaac Newton composed some of his mathematical formulas during slumber. Professor Norbert Wiener of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the man who was mostly responsible for the development of the electronic calculator, frequently would jolt out of bed at night and write down the solution he had dreamed to some problem. Now, I think I may have said something a little bit wrong, and I'm going back in this particular article. It says the brain is a paradox. It needs sleep, but it does not sleep. So I think I might have said that a little bit wrong, so I want to make sure that I'm clear on that point, that it needs sleep, but it does not sleep. Some suggest that sleep provides the brain with cleanup time in which the jumbled activities of the day are sorted and stored, much as in a computer. Where the evidence points. As one reflects upon the matters discussed above, 2 facts stand out clearly. Number 1, sleep is an absolute necessity for human existence. Number 2, man has a long way to go in understanding this phenomena. Now, this is my own personal opinion. I don't think they will ever understand it, because it's certain things that we are just not meant to understand. Knowledge that we are not meant to possess. Only God, the Creator, holds that. And I believe that to be so. We don't need to know that, okay? All we need to do is follow His guidelines, listen to that small, still voice, which is the Holy Spirit, which is His voice working through us. I think this is what kind of got us. I'm a very inquisitive person, and I have more questions than I have answers. So it's very hard for me to accept that. But in a way, as I see more and more things happen in this world that we're living in now, it's getting less harder for me to accept. I'm becoming okay with that. I'm still going to wonder things, and I'm still going to ask questions. But I know that there are certain things that we will never know, and you know what? It's okay. Anyway, in closing to this particular article, it goes on to say, how can anyone with a reasonably modicum level of rationality argue that this beneficial and complex experience known as sleep simply evolved by chance? How can a lucid person believe that more than 3 billion years ago, evolution discovered the biological clock of the blue-green algae, a clock which could and would force us to fall asleep in a regular cycle? For every effect, there must be an adequate cause. The data associated with sleep eloquently argue the proposition that there was an intelligent cause for this experience. There are too many telltale evidences that reflect design in the process. And as we have observed many times before, even skeptics concede that everything designed has a designer. Thank God for this provision. Sleep well. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening to Teachable Moments with April. If you did enjoy this episode, I invite you to come right back to check out my podcast and my other episodes. Don't forget to listen, add us to your favorites, and support by clicking on the link in the description. As always, be blessed and be well. Until next time.